Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to another vlog. I'm making the one today because I've been receiving a handful of comments and questions about working and living in Saudi Arabia. And I guess that's pretty normal given that I live here and I've been working here for some time. I originally started back in 2012 and aside from 2019, I've pretty much been working here either as educational manager or as a teacher. Anyways, some of the questions I've been receiving, I think you need to find a professional consultant to answer. I'm not a consultant at the moment, and it's probably best to check in with one if you do plan on working here full time. That said, some folks have been asking, depending on their nationality, whether or not they can work here. Most English institutes want people who come from countries that are known to be native speakers, which are the big six. I've mentioned this quite a few times already. For other teachers that are qualified in English, there are some schools that may accept them, but that's a school-by-school basis, and I absolutely have no idea which schools those are. I have heard recently that there are more K-12 that are open for hiring teachers from the Philippines. That's becoming normal, and that's probably a positive development given that they're skilled in English and they probably can help out in many, many ways. Also, there are other ethnicities or other nationalities, I should say, that work in other places. We do have other kinds of international schools that are available. There's a Gambia International School, Pakistan International School. So if you're from those countries, I recommend that you check with those schools. If there's another school that you're interested in working in, it's best to try to contact them via WhatsApp. Check their website and look for a WhatsApp number. They'll probably get back to you faster there in that way than any other way. I haven't had a lot of success with emails yet here. Email culture is, and it is something that happens, but emails aren't really as checked or replied to as quickly as you would hope. And you could be deterred because it may be that you send an email and you don't get a response for weeks on end. Just like the way I deal with my comment section, I'm sorry and I apologize to those of you who asked questions. I feel like a lot of those questions have been answered already in previous videos, so do feel free to check the videos that I've released in the past. But in general, I guess the major trend that I see here, the major trend that's taking place in terms of employment is that more and more people are actually working now on business visas as opposed to getting the standard employment, the standard work employment visa, which means that they won't have residency, they won't be able to open bank accounts as far as I know, and they won't be able to have their company pay for their insurance. I believe that if they were to have private insurance, they'd have to pay for it out of pocket, and that if they were to receive payments through bank transfer, it would have to be set up to a bank that they already have, a bank account that they already have. So that's a major, major difference, and I would say drawback to using the business visa. One of the benefits of having the business visa is that if you have a family, you could bring them here potentially as visitors. You could sponsor them as visitors, and then they could, stay for up to about 6 months or so, and then they'd have to travel, leave the country, and come back again for another 6 months. And many people are opting for this because with this situation, you don't have to pay for the dependency fees. The dependency fees are right now 400 riyal per person per month, per dependent. So not including yourself, obviously. Your company takes care of you, but if you're under a regular sponsorship and you wanted to bring your family, it would cost for each dependent 400 per month. And that adds up. That adds up to just maybe around 9,600 for 2 dependents, for like a 1 wife and 1 child. And of course, if you have a bigger family, it could cost considerably a lot more. In terms of overall employment trends here, I would say that if you're a foreigner and you wish to work here, that the field of medicine and education is still a very solid field for you to enter into, in that they still are, the nation is still accepting a lot of foreign employment in that regard. On the other hand, if you're in a different field, maybe if you're in IT or if you're in any other kind of management, it may be more challenging but not impossible to find employment here, because those are the kinds of jobs that the government is actively seeking to Saudiize international, or to promote for Saudi citizens, which makes a lot of sense because they have a qualified population that needs those jobs. So again, if you're a teacher or involved in educational leadership or management, I would still consider working here. If you're involved in, of course, being anything in the medical field, like a doctor or a nurse, there will always be jobs here, as there are kind of around the world for nurses and doctors. I think that kind of goes without saying. Long term, I mean, I guess for many people, Saudi has become more of a livable place. There are fewer restrictions, I guess, than there used to be in public. So there are many events and things like that for people to attend, and that's made it more, I guess, more comfortable for the Western expat or the expat that comes from a more liberal society. Sorry about the truck. Other than that, guys, everything else is looking pretty good here. We do have a lot of business booming. There are a lot of cool places to hang out, and there are a lot of nice places to visit. The city continues to grow, and development continues to occur. I mean, Saudi Arabia has been basically developing itself since the 1980s. It's been one really huge construction site, and a lot of places are becoming more polished, and newer places are being opened for work.